guys, Jessica from Peace Love Books, and same here with the November romance releases coming out this month. I am filming this a little bit early because I go out of town. I'm going to Love in Vegas this weekend, so I am posting this early. I usually wait until a lot closer to November, but I want to film this now, which means I have not organized these by release date yet. Typically, I do this after I've done my Instagram graphic. I have not had time to do that, so I am just going through my list of new releases. There are a ton. There's always a ton every month, and I feel like it's just so hard to keep up with. If I am forgetting anything, obviously let me know. I asked on my Instagram if there were some releases you guys were excited about, so I got some help there, but I am so excited. I do have my computer in case I don't know what the book is, also to grab the graphics so that they're easy to pop in when I go to film. Before we get into the video, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Avery Maxwell. This releases today. This one is about a romance novelist who has an interview that goes terribly wrong. She doesn't know what to do about her reputation, but then her ex from 6 years ago shows up on her front porch. He is now a Hollywood fixer, and he has an answer to their problems, which is to fake date, even though they broke up 6 years ago. But she does not trust herself to pretend to be in love with him because real feelings are obviously going to get in the way. I love a second chance romance. I love a romance that has to do with books and romance novelists, and I love the fact that they're going to have to fake date so they can't avoid being around each other. Obviously, their fake dating is going to turn into real feelings, and you have that is this fake, is this not kind of moment, and that's what we get with our main characters in here. She's also keeping some secrets from him, which will be coming out. Their fake relationship is for the reputations, so it's going to be very public, so they're going to have to act like they really like each other in a public setting, and that means touching each other, being close to each other. So obviously real feelings are going to come into play, especially with the history they have, but can they trust each other again? Can they fall in love again? Definitely pick up Falling Into Forever by Avery Maxwell today. And thank you so much to Avery Maxwell for sponsoring this video. We are going to go through these, and I cannot wait. The one I'm most excited for is The Worst Kept Secret by QB Tyler. This one comes out on November 2nd, and this one is a best friend's dad romance, and it's a guy best friend who actually really likes her, and I think she goes to the dad for advice on what to do because she doesn't like his son, and they end up hooking up instead. I love QB Tyler's books. They're a super spicy fun time, so this one is going to be so good. The next one is A Festive Feud by Maren Moore. She just posted a graphic actually today, and I was like hesitant for a second. She said 7 more days, and I was like, but I have written down that it comes out November 17th. She is saying 7 more days until November, and that means it's Christmas time, right? I actually have a video going up next week of all the new Christmas romance releases that have come out over the past few months or are coming out to read for the holiday season. I'm so excited for that video, but this one is in this video because it does come out in November. This one has a ton of tropes. So it says enemies to lovers, forced proximity, Hallmark with spice, small town, opposites attract, one bed, country guy, soft for her only. Those sound like the best tropes ever, so I am so excited to read this book, and obviously I'm going to pick it up in November. Then we have Love Under Starlight by N.M. Patel. So this one says that it is a steamy roommates to lovers romance in a small village in India with a grumpy teacher and a sunshine American tenant. I guess there's close proximity, an adorable little brother, and opening your heart after losing a loved one. So this cover's super pretty. I have not gotten to Love Shove yet in New York, I think is what her first book was, but I definitely want to try this author out, so I have my eye on her new release. Next is the one when I went to Instagram and I was like, what is a romance release in November that I should make sure I include in my video? Probably 80% of the comments said Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I am well aware this book is coming out in November. I'm very excited for it. I've pre-ordered it. This one's the sequel to Fourth Wing, and I love Fourth Wing so much. It has dragons. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil it if you have not read book 1 yet, but for sure reading this on release day. Then we have a new Laura Pavlov that is coming out on November 16th. It is After the Storm. I am so excited for this one. So this one is a grumpy single dad, and it says that she is the one who got away. So I think it's going to be a second chance romance. They haven't seen each other in years. Now they're stuck in a hotel room with only one bed. The premise literally says he's loved her from the first moment he saw her and every day since. Whether they're together or apart, he's always going to love her. Oh my gosh, this book looks so good. So this is book 5 in the series, and I don't know if she's going to have any more after this, but I am so excited for this one. I still have to read book 4. But this comes out in November. Then we have a new Julie Ann book coming out on the 2nd, which is Because of Her. Ooh, I don't know if this is like darker, but the heroine used to be an accomplished music professor, single, content. Now she's unemployed, and she's pining after a guy named Jack who lives in a garage with a piano, and she's plotting to seduce a married man because his daughter's responsible for her nephew dying by suicide. So this synopsis is bizarre. It also says she doesn't know why Jack has serial killer vibes, even though he leaves her speechless every time he speaks. What is this? Very interesting. I'm going to be intrigued. It does say it's number 6 of Jack and Jill series, but sounds interesting. Then we have Rainfall by Allison Rimes coming out on November 14th. Ooh, okay, so this sounds like it's going to be kind of like a childhood like romance to lovers kind of thing. So it says when she was 10, she fell in love. At 16, they I think finally started dating, and then he got drafted to the NHL, moved across the country, and 5 years later, he's back, and he's meeting his daughter for the first time. Is it a secret baby? Because it does say, I came back to the surprise of my life. That sounds really good. So we'll be reading this. Then we have On Cloud 9 by Kelson Denise Stone, and this one comes out on November 1st, so the very first of the month. So this one is she found her fiance cheating on her, and everybody witnesses it, and she's humiliated. She was supposed to have a trust fund when she got married of $50 million. So that was her plan, and then her longtime office crush declares in front of everyone that he loves her and wants to marry her. So they have to convince her parents that they're in love so she can get her trust and get married. Sounds fun. I love a marriage of convenience, and that's what this one sounds like. Then we have Flame by Adriana Locke, which comes out on November 2nd. I have not kept up with this author's new releases, but this one is new. And it's another marriage of convenience. How convenient. She needs to get married for a reason. It doesn't say on the synopsis why she needs to get married. She just needs a protector, and his name is Fox Carmichael. That's all the synopsis says, so we'll see how this one goes. Then I have a different date written down than Goodreads does. I'm assuming that my date's correct because I have written down He's Not My Type by Megan Quinn is coming out November 28th. Goodreads says November 6th, but there's no cover on here or synopsis. It just says Roommates to Lovers, Romantic Comedy, Hockey, and Dirty MMC. So this one's book 4 in the Vancouver Agitator series. I really loved Right Man, Right Time, and that's really the only recent book I've loved by Megan Quinn, so we'll see if I pick this one up. Powerless by Lauren Roberts comes out. I'm actually reading this right now because I bought a UK copy. It was indie published before it became traditionally published, and the traditionally published one is coming out on November 7th. This one is a fantasy romance, and it's in a society where the heroine has no powers and people without powers are killed. So she has to pretend to have these psychic abilities by using her observation skills, and she falls for the prince, whose power is to take other people's powers, use them, not steal them, but he can use people's powers around him, and he's gonna notice that she doesn't have powers, right? So I'm about 100 pages into this, and I'm really loving it, so I'm excited to finish it. I need to write down author names because I had 2 where I was I wrote down the name of the book, but there's 1,000,001 books called this. So November 16th, Shanora Williams has a new book called Wicked Ties. This is actually book 2 in the Tether series, which I have not read. It just says heart-pounding, romantic, and gut-wrenching, and it's the second book in a trilogy, and it looks like it's fantasy. So this one apparently is coming out. We have no cover still. It's very interesting to me how authors don't release covers when this is coming out in less than a month, but we'll see. Miss Nora has a new book coming out. So the next one is Inheritance by Nora Roberts. She does change up her releases. She'll have a romantic suspense release typically in the earlier, I think it's around May. So this one is the first book in a new trilogy, which is exciting. So this one is the Lost Bride trilogy, and this one comes out November 21st, and it looks like it is about tragedies, love lost and found, and family haunted for generations. So it has in italics something that's in 1806, and now today she is a graphic designer. Her late father had a twin he never knew about, and so she has a newly discovered uncle. I guess he passed away, so he left everything to her, including a majestic Victorian house in Maine, and she has to live there for 3 years. And then there's a young lawyer who greets her at the manor. I don't know if they fall in love, if this is a romance, but I'm intrigued. The next one is Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. This one I actually read a book by this author last year, and I really enjoyed it. So she has another one coming out, and this one is coming out on the 1st, which you bet I will be snagging that up. This one is about a woman who has been dreading the holidays. She's the village pariah, and she left the local golden boy at the altar 4 years ago. So he's engaged again, and she's been dumped for the 4th time that year. The hero's fed up with being alone for the holidays. He doesn't like people looking at him all sad because he's single, and he doesn't like all the couples. So they run into each other at a Dublin pub, and they decide to get through the holidays together. And so they come up with this contract, and they're gonna go to their family holidays together. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cute. I'm so excited. Marking it as want to read on Goodreads because it sounds the cutest. Then we have Blurred Lines by Andy Jackson. Thank goodness I wrote down the author's name. This one's a hockey romance. It does look like it doesn't have a synopsis. So this comes out on November 2nd. It literally just says Paul and Brendan's story. It says Darby U hockey boys. So I'm assuming it is going to be new adult. It's MM, it's hockey. That's all this says. We do have The Bone Collector by Onley James. This looks so fun. It is coming out on November 11th. So this one, Onley James writes like serial killer romances. So this says that Park has spent most of his life as a killer. He is known as the Bone Collector, and now he's been benched. He's now an instructor at Project Watchtower, so he has to train a school of psychopathic assassins. The other hero is called Gift. Okay, this is kind of confusing. So this says that his parents treat him like a burden, so he attempts to unalive himself, and they pass him off to someone else, which is Park, who's the other hero, and it says it's the man that Gift's been fantasizing about for years, and he sees him as an adorable but incompetent distraction, so they're falling in love. We'll see how this one goes. Then we have a book called Dukes and Deeks by Tori Jean. This looks really cute, and it is about a professional hockey player reforming his rakish ways. Okay, I thought this was historical based on the cover. But apparently it's a hockey romance. It's small town, and it is, oh, okay, so it's at a Jane Austen Regency Fair. That's why they look like it's historical. So she is the event coordinator, and, oh, they're friends. So it says, what if a spicy photo of her best friend in a penalty box threatens to reignite a spark from years ago? So she wants to keep her distance, but he's suspended again, and he has to come back home to their small town, and they're reunited. Oh my god, this sounds so good. I am excited. I get so excited doing these videos because these books sound so good. Then we do have Do Your Worst by Rosie Dannon, which I'm very excited for. This one comes out November 14th. I love this cover, and this one I forget what people said it was similar to, but I feel like they said it's kind of like The Mummy. So this says an occult expert and a disgraced archaeologist have an enemies with benefits romance. So she is able to turn her family's knack for the supernatural into a business. So she's hired to break the curse on an infamous Scottish castle, and when she gets there, she meets a handsome stranger, and he tries to get her fired. So this says he is fresh off a professional scandal, so he doesn't want to allow a curse breaker in. I don't know, like, if he lives there. But that sounds really fun. I love the atmosphere. I love the cover. I love everything about this. So I'm for sure picking this up in November. We do have a new Katie Robert book coming out. We have Hunt on Dark Waters, which is a pirate romance. So it says sail the magical high seas with the first in a new fantasy series. Maybe it's not pirates. So she's a witch and he's a pirate. So that sounds super fun. I'm very excited to read it. Then we have Plot Twist by Erin LaRosa coming out on November 14th. So she is a romance writer, and I love reading books about romance writers. Oh, I guess it's come out that she's never been in love and is ruining her reputation. So she wants to reunite with her exes to learn why she's never fallen in love and document it for all of her followers online. And her reclusive landlord has social media all figured out and is willing to help. Oh, but he is an anonymous online crafter, which it says that helps him with his sobriety. No one knows that he loves to craft, so I guess they grow closer doing these things. So that sounds cute. We have a new historical romance coming out. We have a Ladies' Rules for Ruin by Jennifer Haymore. This comes out on November 28th. I love a pink and purple cover, so we have that for this one. And she says that she's going to avoid marriage, and she loves being independent. So she wants to be a spinster, even though her family doesn't want her to be. And this one says that the Earl has a solution to her problems. I'm assuming he's gonna ruin her, but then it says that she has to spend more time with him, and obviously they're gonna fall in love. So that sounds good. Very excited. We do have another historical romance, which is One Night in Heartswood. I think it's historical based on, okay, yes, it says 1360. I don't know anymore after seeing that other cover. So this one says that his sister's betrothed vanishes in the night. He has to track and return the groom to his family, and it does say that the guy who left had to abandon his fiance. I don't know why, and he is not equipped to survive in the wilderness, but he does try to escape. They end up running into each other and they end up falling in love, and I love that premise so much. This cover is so cute, so I'm definitely picking this one up. It sounds so good. The last one is a hockey romance by S.J. Silvis. We have Ice Bet, which is a forbidden hockey romance. This one comes out on November 9th, and she is the coach's daughter and his rival's newest target. He has everything that she hates, very cocky. Ooh, she overhears their bet, which is who can get the coach's daughter in bed first, and she is so angry, and she decides to flirt and bring all of them to their knees. But it says that he is not fooled by her temptation because he has too much riding on his career. They make a bet. If he wins, she stays away from his teammates and stops messing with them. If she wins, he tells her father about his teammates' dirty plans for her. So that one sounds really fun. I gave the previous book in the series 3.5 stars, but I want to check this one out. But those are all of the romances I'm excited for. Let me know if I missed anything. I might have. I usually miss something in these videos, especially if it's like, oh my gosh, you know what I missed? I missed one of my most anticipated books. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I remembered. I was like, I did not talk about this. Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher is coming out super early, I think, in November, like November 7th or something. How did I not remember? Oh my gosh, I would have been so sad if I did this entire video and did not include this book. So we have Love Redesigned, which is part of the Lakefront Billionaires series, and I think one of them is like an architect or something. It says it's a small town romance of two family friends turned childhood rivals. She breaks off an engagement, and a billionaire makes an irresistible offer, renovate a historic house together and triple their profits. So they have to face years worth of denied attraction and emotions with one another. They gotta fix up a house together. Sounds so good. I'm so excited. I cannot believe I almost forgot that. But that is everything I have. Let me know if you have any other books I forgot and what you're most excited to read in November. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.